again, we are on 5-1. Again, we're dividing whole numbers by one digit. And we have a lot to do in this lesson. We're going to compare division methods, we're going to work with remainders, and we're going to check for reasonableness, and that means estimating, rounding, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to compare division methods. That's the first thing we're going to do. And the three division methods I want to show you is place value sections, then expanded notation, and digit by digit, okay? I'm going to use the same problem again and again to show you these three ways. The math problem I'm going to use, I'm going to put it in this area model because area is length times width. And if this is 7 and this is 3,822, that's the total area, what is the top number? What is the width? Okay, the length is 7 and the whole area, the whole inside is 3,822. What is the width? Let's do place value sections. What we do in place value sections is we take the entire number. So I'm going to take 7 and make a box and put 3,822 in there. It's like a division box, but then I just make the whole thing. And I think, how many times does 7 go into the whole number, 3,822? A trick here is to just look at the first number, okay? The first number is 3. I don't know, you can't tell. The first number is 3, so can 7 go into 3? No. Can 7 go into 38? Yeah, because 7 times 5 is 35. So if I know that 7 times 5 is 35, then 7 times 500 would be 35 with then those two zeros, right? 3,500. And then I subtract, just like normal division. So that's a 2, a 2, and a 3. Now, with place value sections, what you do is you make new boxes every time you divide more, okay? So now I have left over 322. And I need to see how many times does 7 go into 322. I'm going to use that trick again. 7 can't go into 3. 7 can go into 32. Can't go 5 times because that's too big, 35. 4 times is 28. So if 7 times 4 is 28, then 7 times 40 would be 28 with a 0. So I'm going to try this 40 here. Oh, I'm sorry. So with each number, you make a new box. So that 322, I'm going to put it in my new box here. 322. And I said 7 goes into 322 40 times, which equal 280. Okay. And then my line is already there. I'm going to put it. Then that's 2. I'm going to have to regroup here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4. I'm sorry, that's a 2. Okay, so I got 42 left over. And 7 goes into 42 evenly 6 times. So again, I'll make my 42 right here. And I know that I'm going to add 6 more to this because 7 times 6 is 42. 42 minus 42 is 0. So I'm going to take these three numbers, 540 and 6. 540 and 6, add them up. And so my division, my answer is 546 to this answer up here. Okay, let's try that with expanded notation. Expanded notation is very similar to digit by digit, and this one, it's kind of like an in-between, okay? So I'm going to set up the division problem the way you're used to setting up the division problem with this division box, okay? And I'm going to see how many times 7, the divisor, goes into 3,822, the dividend. Okay, so with this, I'm still looking at the entire number, okay? And I know from here that 7 won't go into 3, and it will go into 38 5 times. So if it will go into 38 5 times, then it will go into 3,822 500 times. And 7 times 500 is 3,500. And I'm going to subtract. Okay, so I've got 322 left, same as before. But instead of making another box, what I'm going to do is stack the numbers on top. Okay, the only trick you have to know about here is to make sure that you line up your numbers in the right place value. Okay, so 7 goes into 322. Well, 7 goes into 3, nope. 7 goes into 32 4 times, because 7 times 4 is 28. So if it goes in 4 times to 32, then I'll put a 0 at the end, make it 40. 7 goes into, 7 times 4 is 28, and then I'm going to add that 0. Okay, subtract, regroup here. Okay, I've got 42 left, and I know that 7 goes into 42 6 times. And I take all those numbers, 500, 40, and 6, and I add them up. Okay. Now, digit by digit is probably what many of you are accustomed to, and that is just going each digit by digit. You can make more mistakes here, place value mistakes, because you're putting the numbers in the wrong spot. So this and this are preferred, but you can divide anyway. So 7 does not go into 3, but 7 goes into 38 5 times, and 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract, get a 3, bring down my 2. 7 goes into 32 4 times. 7 times 4 is 28. I subtract again, have to regroup there, and I bring down my 2. 7 goes into 42 6 times. 7 times 6 is 42. Okay? So these are the 3 different ways that you can divide. If you have trouble with division, you should let your teacher know immediately so that you're not feeling overwhelmed, okay? We can go over these division problems with you again. All right, I'm on page 164 in your fact sheet. Let's take these 3 different division methods and apply some of the word problems that are on page 164. I'm going to take a look at number 1, and it says a farmer has 2,106 cows and 9 barns. If the farmer divides the cows into equal groups, how many cows will he put in each barn? So I need to start with an equation first. And I need to know how many cows he's putting in each barn. So X equals the number of cows. That is going to be the number of the cows that go into the barn. This is 2,106 cows, and we're going to divide that into 9 different barns. We're going to see how many cows go in each barn, okay? With this, I will take a look at the 9, put it on the outside of my division box, and put the 2,106 on the inside. And remember, with this method, I'm looking at the entire number. So let's take a look. 9 goes into 2. No, 9 goes into 21. Yes, 9 times 2 is 18. So 9 times 200, 200 would be 1,800. And when I subtract that, I'm going to have to regroup here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 3. I get 306. So I'm going to, again, make another box, put my 306 inside, and I'm going to add the next quotient that will go into 306. So let's see. 9 goes into 3. No, 9 goes into 30. Well, 9 times 3 is 27. So 9 times 30 would be 270. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to regroup. Okay, I've got 36. I know that one goes in evenly because 9 times 4 is actually exactly 36. So I'm going to take my 2 numbers, 230 and 4, and it looks like 234 cows will go into each barn if there's 9 barns. Okay, I'm going to take a look at number 2, and I'm going to use expanded notation for number 2. It says a sidewalk covers 3,372 square feet. If the sidewalk is 4 feet wide, what is the length? Okay, an area problem. So I've got a sidewalk, and it's 3,372 feet, and it's 4 feet wide, and I need to know what's this up here. What is the length? Okay. So again, with the expanded notation, it's like digit by digit and place value sections mixed together, and we're just going to stack the quotients on top of each other. So I'm going to rewrite my problem, 3,372, And again, with expanded notation, you're looking at the entire number, not just digit by digit, because digit by digit is that method, okay? So 4 goes into, not 3, but 33, 7 times, because 4 times 7 is 28. Yep. So, oh wait, 8 times 4 is 32. Whoops. So if 8 times 4 is 32, then 800 times 4 will be 3,200. Now subtract that. I get 172. 4 goes into 172. Let's see. 4 goes into 1. No, 4 goes into 17. 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 times 40 would be 160. Okay. And I've got 12 left over. And 4 goes into 12 very evenly with a 3. There we go. And I take those numbers and I add them up and I will get 843 as my length. Okay. Let's take a look at number 3 on page 164. And it says Olivia has $8. Her mother has $4,784. The amount Olivia's mother has is how many times the amount Olivia has. So we want to know how many times the amount that her mom has is what Olivia has, okay? So this is kind of tricky. I think setting up an equation will be the easiest thing to do, or will help us. If Olivia has $8 and her mother has $4,784, they want to know the amount Olivia's mother has is how many times. So we're going to multiply this number, 8, was what Olivia has, by some number is going to equal what her mom has, okay? So to divide, I'm going to take this number, make that my dividend, and my divisor will be 8. And my quotient will be how many times it takes, how many 8 times whatever will equal this. That will be my quotient. So I'm going to go digit by digit. 8 goes into 4? No. 8 goes into 47? Yes. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 46. Got 1 left over, and I bring down my 8. 8 goes into 18 twice. 8 times 2 is 16. I've got 2 left over, bring down my 4, and 8 goes into 24 3 times. Nice and even. So 623 would be the answer for number 3 on page 164 in your fact cheetah. Now let's work with remainders. This is the second thing we're going to do. All the problems before that we had were divided evenly. Now let's find a couple of division problems that have remainders. There's a couple of things that you can do with remainders. Today we are going to put a little r and put the number left over next to the r. So I'm going to go to page 165 in your fact sheet. I'm going to look at number 9, and I have 6 divided by 5,380, okay? And I know that these ones are going to have remainders. So this first one, I think I will do, let's see, let's do expanded, I think this one. We'll call this place value, yes, we'll do place value sections, okay? So 6 goes into 5, no, goes into 53. 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 8 is 48. So I think that's as close as we can get. Let's see. So 6 times 8 is 48. Then 6 times 800 should be 48 with 2 zeros. We'll subtract, regroup. I get 580 left over. So I'm going to put another box and put 580 in there. And I'm going to keep dividing. 6 goes into 580. I'm going to look at the 5. Doesn't go in. 58. 6 times 9 is 54. So 6 times 90 would be 54 with a 0. And I've got 40 left over. Ooh, and I know. Okay, so 6 goes into 40. It doesn't go in evenly. 6 times 6 is 36. So if I do a 6, that's 36. And I have 4 left over, okay? So with this, I'm going, and I would have a remainder of 4. I would add my quotients together, so I've got 896, remainder 4. And that's what my answer would be for number 1. Let's try one more. Let's try number, I'm sorry, that was number 9. Let's try number 20. We have 7 divided by 4,000. I'm going to do expanded notation for this one. So I'm going to build my quotients on top. 7 does not go into 4. 7 can go into 40. 7 times 5 is 35. So if 7 times 5 is 35, then 7 times 500 would be 35 within those 2 zeros. Subtract, regroup, got 500. So 7 goes into 500. Let's see, 7 goes into 5. Nope, 7 goes into 50. 7 times 7 is 49. So 7 times 70 would be a 49 with a 0. Ooh, got 10 left over. 7 goes into 10 one time. And I've got 3 left over. So I would take those numbers, 570 and 1. And I have a remainder 3 here. So that would look like 571, remainder 3. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to check for reasonableness, okay? So I'm on page 166 in your fact cheetah. And the first problem is 9 divided by 3,150. And on this problem, it wants us to first solve, but then check using mental math to make sure that our answer is correct. So I'm going to solve using digit by digit. 9 goes into 9 goes into 31 3 times, because 9 times 3 is 27. I will subtract, bring down my 5. 9 goes into 45 5 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Bring down a 0. Now, I want you to see 35 times 9 would not get me 3,150. So you might make a mistake here because you're saying 9 doesn't go into 0, I'm all done. It divided evenly, but you're not done. You have another 0 here to drop down. You need to ask yourself, how many times does 9 go into 0? It doesn't. It's a 0. And that's very different, 35 and 350. So you need to make sure that you line up all your numbers, okay? And 9 times 0 is 0. Now we're done because there's nothing left to bring down. Now we're going to check for reasonableness. I had a 9, and I divided it by 3,150. 9 is very close to 10. And 3,150 is very close to just 3,000. So how many times does 10 go into 3,000? It goes in about, well, it goes in exactly 300 times, right? 10 times 300 would equal, 10 divided by 3,000 would equal 300. So that's pretty close, and we can know, yeah, that works.